All right. I want to answer Kyle's question. Kyle Harsh had asked, "Hey, Julius, quick question regarding the BMS. We look for push and close beyond the BMS, then wait for a retrace to order block for a buy. So we would pull back to a buy. Could you give some insight on the BMS since it barely closed above and did not push beyond? Would best strategy be play off of the fibs and wait for retrace back to the 1 hour uh, on the 50 fibs?" Okay. So and the date on this was the 3rd, September the 3rd. So here I have the chart, and Bitcoin, I have the 1 hour chart. And September the 3rd is this time frame in here. All right, let me block it off right there. So I see what you're talking about. Price had, let me outline this, all right? Okay, so price came, boom, like that, entered into September 3rd, and you were questioning, you wanted more insight on the BMS, and your question is, should you wait until price pull back? Uh, First of all, when you have a BMS, right, in this situation, this is a continuation of trend, right? So here's your BMS line right there. Let me, whoop. Oh boy, okay. All right. So the continuation, let's mark that BMS right there. Okay. This was the test for equal highs, right? If you remember, and I had mentioned that on FS. See this, tested this. So this is a very firm um, break in market structure. Okay. So when price did break this, the answer is yes, you're going to wait for this pullback. All right. And here's the pullback. So based on this pullback, right, you would drop on the 1 hour chart. This is minor swing structure. And this is where you're going to be doing your 1 hour fib placement right there. Here's your 50 line right there, right? Boom. Here's your 50 line. So the play is every time price bounces off of this 50 line or better, you're going to be looking for an entry. You could be patient and just wait for the 1 hour candle to tell you the entry. Like in this case, see this pin hammer engulfing with a pin hammer, reaching deep, grabbing at stop losses, right? And you would have had a little bit of drawdown, which would have been this. But even this drawdown here produced a green candle, this engulfing. It engulfs this red. And you could have, if you were afraid of this, you could have exited and then re-entered right here. All right. So let me try to understand what you're trying to say here. We could give some insight on the BMS since it barely closed above. You know, okay, so you're stating that it barely closed above. The reality is that the 1 hour time frame is significant enough for us to read price action. And this is where you have to have price action, higher, higher high, all right, under your belt. Because when in doubt, mark up the chart, not zoom out like everyone else says. No, when you are in doubt and you're not sure, mark up the chart. What's the best way to mark up the chart? Get back to the basics, which is price action and market structure, right? Because then you'd be able to read price action and how it relates to the fib. And that's why. So as soon as you got higher high here, higher, actually this is higher low, sorry. Okay. As soon as you had higher high, higher low, right? This is higher than this. Look, there. And as soon as you've seen that, right? Higher high, and then price started to pull back. On this pullback, you knew that you were going to put your fib. But your question would have been remedied if and as long as you had properly marked up your chart with reading market structure, higher high, higher low, higher high. What I would tell you is that you just have to have faith that you are reading price action and market structure correctly. That's all you need to do. Because if you are reading this correctly and you're marking it up, and even myself, I get caught up sometimes. I'm like, oh man, I can't read the chart. So I'll go to the higher time frame and I'll try to read my market structure, right? And that's a major swing structure. Take a look on the 4-hour chart. So when you drop it to the 1 hour, it even makes more sense, right? See it? Here's the 4-hour. And on the 4-hour, now this is not major, but still, this is the major structure would be this high and this low. So if price breaks this, you're immediately going to be dropping your fibs from here to this, and that's going to be your fib setting. So price could actually dig as deep as this, and you'd still be in discount range. Okay. If price breaks major structure, which is this is clearly major structure, take a look, double bottom, major structure. If price breaks this, right, price comes down from here and then breaks it, breaks this structure here, you then have a change in trend. So as long as price remains within its boundaries of the higher low, within the boundaries of its market structure, trend is still continuing to climb. Okay, I hope that helps. So when you are in doubt, you need to get down and you need to mark up the chart. That's what you need to do. Because if you mark up the chart, you'll feel confident. Okay, you know what? We did break a market structure right here. It's a very shallow break of market structure, but that's just the nature of how it is. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you get strong impulse to the upside, but in this case, it's a very shallow. But the shallow one actually produced a. We've got a higher low, and we have a place to for our data points for our fibs, which is this, right? We have a data point here and a data point up here. And then, of course, when the price pulled back into the 50, you'd be looking for an entry. And if you read my levels, you would also know that this here was a level 2 right here, all this, right? And from a level 2, you would know that you still had room for a level 3. And that's where you had this BMS here that produced this level 3. So I hope that helps. If you have any further questions, feel free to let me know, and I could do my best to help make sense of it. All right, Kyle, thanks.